Hey guys, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So today for you, we got our first match of BT12 for the channel. It is, of course, two huge fan favorites. We got Beelzemon X versus the new Gallantmon. Gallantmon X, if you want to call it that. It's just Gallantmon, though. Gallantmon X isn't the focus of it, neither is Crimson Mode. It's just an all-around solid deck, whereas Beelzemon, you could just call it Beelzemon, but really the sauce is in the Beelzemon X that really brings the deck together. So I got two games for you today. The first one's got some back and forth with it, and then the last one I just want to show you some real crazy power. Or no, I dropped that. I got the match for you today is just a good back and forth showing off what the power of each deck, of what they're capable of, and how either one can basically swing the tide of battle in each other's favor tremendously. Crimson Mode being able to just trash all the security when it attacks and then just winning the game outright, or Beelzemon X doing basically the same thing. When it digivolves, it trashes all your opponent's security and then just wins outright on the attack. So both decks very similar in play styles. They just go about it in a different way, which is really interesting. So how these two decks interact, might see a lot more Gallantmon if Beelzemon X comes into play a lot more. We'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. So let's go ahead and get into this. Don't forget, though, this month's featured memory marker is Beelzemon, though. So if you are a Ghost Game fan, which Ghost Game just ended, final episode aired yesterday, I think, at the time of filming this. So really fantastic ending, super solid. Really love the anime. So if you want to complete your set, this is our featured one for Patreon, as well as you can find this on my wife's Etsy page, because this is handmade out of clay by her, hand painted as well. Digimiyu. Find it on her Etsy page, as well as the Gurimon, as well as the Poyomon for the other Ghost Game fans. Also, you can get a collaborative of all three of them for a discounted rate if you buy the bundle. So if you haven't got any yet and are really hyped for some Ghost Game, definitely check that out, as well as all of her other memory markers that she's featured in the past you can find on her Etsy page as well. All right, third time's the charm on filming this. Gallantmon going first here. We see that the draw Digimon, EX2 Gilmon, and then the X Antibody Gilmon, just getting all that consistency. Seeing the Tocado getting hard played there to pass turn. We found that in testing, if you push out the Growlmon and rely on that Growlmon, or push out the Gilmon and rely on the Growlmon to get that free Tocado, and they pop your Growl, it's a big problem. It could definitely come back and bite you. So they pass it over to the Beelzemon. They just play Evo and Impmon X and a hard playing Impmon X just to choke the opponent back at 1. Opponent plays out a Cool Boy, though, whiffs on it, passes back to the opponent. Going into the Witchmon here, going to mill 3, hits into a Wizardmon to gain a memory back, as well as a Rival's Barrage to be able to cycle back some sort of purple Digimon that they might need later. Don't want to shotgun that out too soon. Wait until you really actually need it. And then going to play an I Am Mako to pass turn here. Big debate on what to grab here. You definitely don't want to grab the wrong thing. Definitely some useful targets. You grab the level 5 or just go for another level 4. So that mill could be important later on with that. But then just goes for the rookie instead. So those... The warp digivolving when attacking Impmons are pretty strong. Played out a red memory boost. Going to pick up the Growlmon just to have something to Evo to keep the chain going here. Don't want to waste too much time. Already has played out a Tocado by hand, a Cool Boy by hand, and a red memory boost. So they're definitely digging and breaking a little bit. So they're trying to unbreak their hand a little bit. Kicking it back over to Beelzemon here, Evoing for 3. Going to use the Iron Mako to put a card back on the deck to gain a memory, which is a Wizardmon will gain a memory, and then the Deathslinger will gain another memory. So 3 Evo cost ended up being basically for free here on that Balmon X. Swinging with the Impmon here just to try to probably get more trash into the field, as well as you don't want to leave too low of a body out there for Gallantmon to just get a pop for free and gain a bunch of memory. Going in for the Beelzemon now for Evo cost, hitting into an EX2 Impmon will gain or give them 3 more mills, and then hit a Wizardmon at the very end, gain them another memory, and then the Beelzemon himself, his own ability is for every 10 cards in trash, you're going to gain that memory back, or gain 1 memory. So keeping it on their side, when attacking, trash 2 from, I believe, the Impmon X, so hits into a Deathslinger, so getting another memory. Nothing to worry about in the security there. Playing the Rivals Barrage here, going into the Beelzemon X, going to get to mill, or not mill, sorry, trash a card for every 10 in trash, or trash a security for every 10 cards in trash. So there's another one in trash. In a very good position at this point. Opponent's almost cleared out. We're just going to play an Impmon to dig a little bit here. And then pick up the Beelzemon X as it's the only target. Playing a red memory, or popping the red memory boost to gain memory just to play another red memory boost does not feel too great. Just trying to cycle here. Looks like the debate is between 2 War Growlmons. Do you get the one that's going to mill more cards, which is not what you want to do, because that it can be very, very deadly in this particular matchup. Gaining all that, let them gain all that memory and pass your turn. Really sucks. Going for the new War Growlmon though, so when Digivolve, I'm going to get a pop. Gains a memory from the Tocado as well as the Growlmon. And then going into the Gallantmon X after that, using the Cool Boy to gain an additional memory. War Gallantmon X will then give the when attacking, or sorry, the when deletion effect to lose a memory to that Beelzemon X. And then deciding how to best proceed here. Does still have the Blitz available for the Gallant if they want to go into the Gallant. No X antibody though. X antibody would be fantastic for this, to be able to go into the Gallantmon X and clear the body, and you would get the checks. But doesn't look like they have that piece. Beelzemon X though on deletion will get to play out an Impmon for free, which is super clutch because that turns off the War Growlmon. The War Growlmon can't gain its additional 2, which would have been super powerful in this situation. To gain that 2, put them back to 1. Could have gone into the X antibody there, the Gallantmon X, and unsuspended, or popped, or rather, if the field had been empty, it would have just unsuspended. It could have attacked again, but that's not how it played out. So passing the turn at 1 though, not a whole lot that can be done at that, but you can still make some plays. It is the when attacking Impmon here, which is super, super strong. That's the one that was picked up early game off that Ian Mako search. So, gonna go ahead and swing with it. Just trying to get the timing right. You don't use the Ian Mako till you Digivolve, and so there we're gonna see that the Ian Mako gets suspended afterwards. It evos for 3 with that Impmon ability there, so it makes it a 3 evo instead of a 4 evo. Perfectly fair and balanced. Debating the Ian Mako here. Got the Wizardmon in hand. Do you use the Wizardmon to gain the memory, or do you get the additional mills off the EX2 Impmon? If you're trying to choke the opponent at 1 here, just clear that last security and then swing for game with the Impmon next turn. Then just choking them at 1 feels really solid. But also you have the Beelzemon there that's also going to mill, so you got to be cautious of that. Depends on how many cards you have in trash. If you're only going to have 19 or whatever, or 19 or less, then you're good. But this late in the game is probably not the case. So mills 4, hits the gonna mill 3 more because of the Impmon from EX2 there that was placed on top of the deck, and then it hits into a was a Deathslinger to gain them another memory, and then again a 2 memory from the Beelzemon himself, his ability. So tons of memory gain. Like literally, they started their turn at 1 here. And they've only gone up into a mega, but they've milled 7 cards, and now they're at 2 memory. Like absolutely insanely strong. Blast mode right here would finish the game. Blast mode, you 1 evo, basically unsuspend, swing again, and that's game. Didn't have it in hand though. Didn't have the Rivals Barrage to add it back either. So kind of struggling it out here at this point. Gonna pop the memory boost to gain 2. So it's got to find a way to basically win the game right here, which is not easy. I say win the game because their security is gone, and that there's that Impmon and raising area. At the end of the day, like that's a huge part of this game is it's like OTK format after OTK format, and if they ever have anything in raising and you don't have any sort of like defense mechanisms like recovery or blocker or something like that, then you just kind of instantly lose no matter what kind of crazy turn you have, and that's always frustrating. But this can be kind of interesting how this interactions work here. So Gallantmon's going to swing at Beelzemon here, uses the, I believe, the EX2 Gallantmon to pop the rookie, and it's going to gain a memory boost for them to win attacking, not being able to pop anything. Something died, so he's going to get a ton of memory off of that. Suspend the Cool Boy on the Gallant X to unsuspend. Now, if he could have, in this situation, if he could have swung security with that Gallantmon instead of swinging over the Beelzemon, that would have been so much better because he would have got the 2 security checks and then gone into the Gallant X to unsuspend and then swing again. And by going into like the Crimson mode would have trashed all the security and they would have won right here. The issue is they couldn't clear the field off of effects alone, and that was the big issue here. So now we're going to see that Crimson mode, they've already counted trash numerous times. They know how many's in there at this point. So it's going to get the 1 trash automatic and then 3 additional trashes after that, and then 1 security check. And unfortunately, there was no other way to get around it. They couldn't get enough things in trash otherwise to make it work. Joking, Crimson mode on top of Crimson mode. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. And you can't go Blitz Omnimon on top of it either. So, and that'll do it right there. The Impmon for game from a raising area that nothing could be happen. But that was crazy how like literally Gallantmon almost came back. There was, I mean, this field here, all they had was the 1 Gallantmon, and they cleared all security, cleared a mega, and cleared a rookie. If like I said, if they could have swung security right here instead of over the Beelzemon, if they could have cleared the Beelzemon some other way, I mean, I don't think there's anything. Like, you needed a 6,000 DP boost, I think, on the deletion effects, which I don't think you can even get to. There's the new baby that does it, I believe. Gilmon X, Growlmon X, and maybe one of the War Growls might do it as well. I mean, that's only 4K that you're going to be able to boost. One of the Gallantmons has the other 2K that you need, but that one's not in play here. So I guess it is possible to get an extra 6K on top of your 6K deletion effects, which is pretty bananas. And that would have done it. That would have just cleared the whole field right there. Got to cut the security checks. Gone for the Gallantmon X to unsuspend, and then go for game with the Crimson mode. So super close. Like I said, it could have gone either way there. Literally the turn before, if they had just had the blast mode, they would have won right then. And then in this situation, if they could have cleared the field and used the unsuspend or whatever, or if the trash had just been big enough to go straight for the Crimson mode, that also was a factor. They could have just gone straight, skipped the whole Gallant X play and just gone straight for Crimson mode. Possibly could have done it. Yeah, it's just so yeah, I can't think of any way that we could have done it, because you can't go for Crimson mode. Crimson mode would have deleted it, but yeah, that's the order of operations on that. Let's go ahead and look at the decks for you guys though right quick. This is a very similar list to what they played for the Gallantmon. Not the exact list. I sent him a list, and then he tweaked it, and then he didn't tell me what he tweaked in it until we played, and I didn't have a picture for it, but this is really similar to his build. This is not my final build. I think that I'm going to have to tailor Gallantmon for the format, and I think that's going to be you can build a really solid, just all-around great Gallantmon deck pretty easily, but tailoring it towards the format I think is going to be really important, because we're going to see a ton of Beelzemon. And then here is my Beelzemon list here, pretty much pretty solid. I'll do a card by card later this week. These ratios might look a little strange to you, and if you think they're strange, definitely come back and check the video out later this week, because I'm going to do a full breakdown of why I chose these exact ratios, and it'll make a lot more sense then, I think. And then if after hearing me out on my choices, then you still think I'm like crazy on anything, then you can roast me in that video. But until then, don't say crap, all right? No negative talking until you hear me out.